Detective Sarah Chen walked through the corridors of Newcastle Police Station looking like the perfect officer. At 35, she was disciplined, successful, respected, but no one knew her real purpose. Sarah's desk looked no different from other detectives: files, coffee mug, family photo. But the young man in that photo was no longer alive. Danny Chen, Sarah's 19-year-old brother. He had died in a traffic accident 6 months ago. "Morning, Sarah," said Detective Mike Rodriguez, the only person Sarah trusted. "Any progress on the Henderson case?" Sarah looked up. "Still working on it, Mike. These drug cases are getting more complex." But Sarah's mind wasn't on the Henderson case. She was investigating the truth about her brother's death. And what she had found shook her to the core. Danny's death wasn't an accident. It was murder. And the killers were inside Newcastle Police Department. 6 months ago, Danny was studying computer engineering at Newcastle University. Smart, innocent, full of dreams for the future. But he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That night, Danny was walking through a street near campus. He saw 3 police officers, but they weren't on duty. They were taking bribes from drug dealers. Large amounts of money and heroin were changing hands. Danny took photos, gathered evidence. He was going to report it to police the next day, but he never got the chance. The traffic accident report was perfect. Drunk driver, slippery road, bad weather conditions. Everything made sense. The photos on Danny's phone had also disappeared in the crash. Initially, Sarah hadn't suspected anything. Grieving for her brother, she had accepted Danny's death as an accident. But 3 months later, she received an anonymous letter. "Your brother saw too much. They killed him. Trust no one in the department." That night, Sarah searched Danny's room thoroughly. She found a hidden folder on his computer. Backup photos. The photos Danny had taken that night. 3 police officers were clearly visible: Sergeant Tom Bradley, Constable James Wright, and Chief Inspector Frank Morrison. Sarah's world collapsed. Morrison was one of the department's most respected figures. He had 25 years of experience. Sarah had looked up to him. But Morrison was her brother's killer. That night, Sarah Chen died. Someone else was born in her place. Someone who would bring justice. Someone who would clean the system from within. The next day, Sarah applied for a transfer to Internal Affairs. "Career development," she said. No one knew the real reason. Sarah Chen was no longer just a police officer. She was a hunter of corrupt cops. And her prey was very close. The transfer to Internal Affairs wasn't easy. Sarah's colleagues began to see her as a traitor. In police culture, Internal Affairs was known as the Rat Squad. "Why Internal Affairs, Sarah?" Mike Rodriguez had asked. "You were doing great in CID." Sarah gave her prepared answer. "I want to make a difference. Clean up the force from within." Mike looked suspicious, but didn't ask further. He knew Sarah had changed after Danny's death. In Internal Affairs, Sarah's supervisor was Detective Chief Inspector Helen Walsh. Tough, fair, with zero tolerance for corruption. "Chen," Walsh said on the first day, "this job isn't popular. Officers will hate you. But if you're here to do the right thing, I'll support you." Sarah nodded. "I'm here for justice, ma'am." The first week, Sarah studied the department. Which officers had complaints? Which cases had been closed? Which detectives were acting suspiciously? Morrison's file was clean. Too clean. In 25 years, only 2 minor complaints. Both had been found baseless. But Sarah dug deeper. She investigated Morrison's finances. His salary was £45,000 per year. But last year, he had bought an £80,000 car, renovated his house, holiday expenses. "Interesting," Sarah murmured. She also investigated Bradley and Wright. Both were on Morrison's team. Both had made unexpected expenditures in the last 6 months. Sarah began secretly following them. Every Friday evening, Morrison went to the same pub, an old tavern called The Crown. But not to drink. Sarah watched from a distance. Morrison would enter the pub's back room. He'd come out 15 minutes later. Each time, there was a thick envelope in his pocket. "Bingo," Sarah whispered. But she needed evidence. Sarah investigated the pub owner, Tommy the Fish Mackenzie, known drug dealer, arrested many times but never convicted. Sarah made the connection. Morrison was taking bribes from Mackenzie. In return, he was providing information about drug operations. But how had Danny gotten involved in this? Sarah investigated Danny's final days, university records, friend statements, phone records. She found Danny's closest friend, Kevin Liu. Kevin knew where Danny had been that night. He was coming back from the library, Kevin said. Said he saw something weird near the docks. Police officers acting strange. Sarah's heart raced. Did he say anything else? Yeah, he was excited. Said he had evidence of something big. Was going to report it next day. Sarah understood. Danny had accidentally witnessed the meeting between Morrison's gang and Mackenzie. He had taken photos, and that's why he died. That night, Sarah sat at home, looking at Danny's photos. Her brother's innocent face looked back at her. "I promise you, Danny," she whispered, "they'll pay for what they did." But Sarah didn't know that Morrison was also watching her, and Sarah's investigations had been noticed. Danger was approaching. Morrison's voice was cold. "You're playing a dangerous game, Detective Chen. I know what you did to Danny. Your brother was collateral damage. Meet me at the old Tyne Bridge warehouse, midnight. Come alone." Why would I do that? Because I have the full list. Everyone involved, names, dates, amounts, everything. How do I know this isn't a trap? You don't? But this is your only chance for the whole truth. Your brother deserves that. Sarah called Mike Rodriguez. "Mike, I need backup tonight. Meet me at Tyne Bridge area, midnight. Stay hidden until I signal." At 11:45 p.m., Sarah approached the warehouse. Morrison was there, alone. "You came. I wasn't sure you would." Morrison handed over a file. "Everything's here. 15 officers, 3 judges, 2 prosecutors. The whole network." Sarah scanned through it. Names, amounts, dates. Everything detailed. "Why are you giving me this?" "Because it's over." Thompson talked about Williams. "Williams is cleaning house, getting rid of loose ends. I'm a loose end, Sarah, just like you." Suddenly, the warehouse was surrounded by lights. Armed police emerged everywhere. "Armed police! Drop your weapons!" Morrison smiled. "Sorry, Sarah. Williams wants you gone. This looks perfect. Corrupt internal affairs detective meets dirty cop. Both killed in shootout." Sarah understood. This was a trap. But Morrison would also die. Gunshots began. Sarah took cover, pulling Morrison with her. "This is insane! They'll kill us both!" "That's the plan, Chen. Williams can't risk us talking." Sarah opened her radio. "Mike, now! I need backup." But Chief Constable Williams' voice answered, "I'm afraid Detective Rodriguez won't be joining us tonight, Chen. He's indisposed." Sarah's heart stopped. What had they done to Mike? The war had begun, and Sarah was alone. The warehouse became a battlefield. Sarah and Morrison took cover while Williams' men surrounded them. "How many men does Williams have?" Sarah asked. 8, maybe 10, all dirty cops, all desperate. Sarah checked ammunition. She had enough, but it wouldn't last long. "Morrison, did you personally kill Danny?" "No, that was Bradley. I gave the order, but I didn't pull the trigger." "You're still responsible." "I know, and I'm sorry. Your brother was innocent." Williams' voice echoed, "Chen, Morrison, give up now. "Go to hell, Williams!" Sarah shouted back. Gunshots resumed. Morrison was wounded, blood flowing from his shoulder. "Sarah, there's a way out. The drainage tunnel, basement level, leads to the river." Sarah saw stairs leading down. "Can you make it?" "I'll try, but take the files. Make sure the truth comes out." They went to the basement. Old, damp, dark. Morrison was right. There was a drainage tunnel. "This leads to Tyne River, about 200 meters. Footsteps came from upstairs. Williams' men were searching. They entered the tunnel. Cold, dirty water came to their knees. After 50 meters, Morrison stopped. "I can't go further. Too much blood loss." "I'm not leaving you." "You have to. Those files are more important than my life. I have a daughter Danny's age. I can't live with what I've done." Light appeared in the tunnel. Williams' men had found them. "Go!" Morrison shouted. "I'll hold them off." Sarah ran. Gunshots echoed behind. Morrison was fighting his last battle. At tunnel's end was the river. Sarah jumped in, holding files above her head. Reaching the opposite shore, she looked back. The warehouse was burning. No sound from Morrison. Sarah took out her phone. She couldn't trust police. Williams controlled everyone. But there was one person. Journalist Emma Thompson. "Emma, it's Sarah. I have the story of the century." Next morning, newspapers sold everywhere in Newcastle. The headline shook the city. "Police corruption scandal rocks Newcastle. Chief Constable implicated." Emma Thompson's report created bombshell effect. Sarah's files, video recordings, witness statements, everything was public. Sarah hid at Emma's house. "The story's gone viral. National news, social media, everywhere. Williams can't cover this up." Sarah watched television. Her photo was on BBC News. Detective Sarah Chen, the whistleblower who exposed the corruption ring. Mike Rodriguez called, "Sarah, thank God you're alive. Where are you?" "Meet me at St. Nicholas Cathedral. 1 hour." At the cathedral where Danny's funeral was held, Sarah waited. Mike arrived, looking worried. "The whole department is in chaos. Half the officers are suspended. Williams is missing." "Missing?" "Disappeared last night, after your story broke. Probably fled the country." Sarah was disappointed. "He can't escape justice. Interpol is looking for him. And Sarah, this came to the station this morning." Mike handed an envelope, and inside was Morrison's letter. "Detective Chen, if you're reading this, I'm probably dead. But that's okay. I deserve it. Your brother Danny was a hero. He saw injustice and tried to stop it. I've left additional evidence in safety deposit box. Bank of Newcastle, box 247. Key is taped under my desk drawer. This evidence will bring down remaining corrupt officers. I'm sorry for what I did to your family. Frank Morrison. P.S. Your brother would be proud of you." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Morrison had died, but done one last good deed. That afternoon, Sarah went to the bank. In box 247 were more files. The corruption network was bigger than Morrison said. 23 police officers, 5 judges, 3 prosecutors, 2 mayors. Sarah gave files to Emma. "This is the final piece. Publish everything." "What will you do now?" Sarah looked at Danny's photo. "I'll keep fighting. For Danny. For justice." 6 months later, Newcastle had completely changed. Sarah's revelations created domino effect. 23 police officers arrested, 5 judges removed, 3 prosecutors imprisoned. Chief Constable Williams was caught in Spain, extradited, sentenced to 25 years. Bradley and Wright were also imprisoned. Sarah was now seen as hero, but she didn't feel like one, just a sister who delivered justice. New Chief Constable Helen Walsh promoted Sarah. "Detective Inspector Chen, you've earned it." "Thank you, ma'am, but I want to stay in internal affairs." "Why?" You could have any position. Because the job isn't finished. There are still corrupt officers. Someone needs to find them. Sarah's new office was decorated with Danny's photo. Every day she looked at it, remembering her promise. Mike Rodriguez visited. How are you holding up? Better. The nightmares are less frequent. Any regrets? About exposing corruption? No. About Morrison dying? Maybe. He was trying to make amends. He killed your brother, Sarah. I know. But in the end, he helped me get justice for Danny. That counts for something. The department is cleaner now. Officers actually trust internal affairs. That's the point, Mike. Police should police themselves. That evening, Sarah visited Danny's grave. She left flowers, sat quietly. I did it, Danny. I got them all. Morrison, Williams, Bradley, Wright. All of them. The wind rustled leaves. Sarah felt like she heard Danny's voice. I'm proud of you, sis. I learned from the best. You always stood up for what was right. Her phone rang. New case. Corruption suspicion. Detective Inspector Chen speaking. Ma'am, we have a situation. Sergeant Collins in Traffic Division. Suspicious bank deposits. I'm on my way. Sarah Chen's work wasn't finished. As long as there was injustice, she would fight. Danny's death hadn't been in vain. It cleaned Newcastle Police. Sarah would carry on her brother's legacy. The cop who hunted cops was now the cop who protected cops. Newcastle was safer. Sarah Chen's story teaches us, sometimes change needs to come from within. Sometimes the greatest courage is standing up against your own people. Danny Chen's soul was at peace. His sister kept her promise. Justice was served.